Hi people. Ignore the mess behind me and my broken cup. So this cup has been broken for a while. But I love it. I love because it's so big, and so I continue to use it. Um, so I wanted to talk about weight today, and I've done this video like a million times. My son keeps walking in, and just so many things, but I need to get it done. So I'm hoping this is it. This is it. This is it. So before I talk about what, people have been asking me like, what are you doing, blah blah blah, with your weight loss and stuff. So I wanted to share that, but before that, I wanted to share and just say and preface it with this, like weight gain and weight loss is a mental battle. It is a mental victory or a mental like loss. So um like for me at least anyway, and I've come to know that I've met quite a few heavy people recently, and especially when I was in America, and I realized that most of them have gone through a lot of trauma in their lives, parents leaving them, or rape, or some sort of abuse, and food was has been the way that they learned to cope with what they were feeling. I want to tell you that your weight, um, your weight, for most people, for the people that I met anyway, has to do not just with eating too much. So there's something behind the reason. So there's a reason behind why you're eating too much, or why you're not exercising, or why you're feeling that way. Sometimes it's illness, sometimes it's, but for a lot of it, it's mental struggles. And food can be so comforting. And I smile because food has been my best friend for such a long time. And I know, like this week, like I started to feel like I wanted to eat, and um like I wanted to eat a lot, and I've learned to kind of be like, okay, why am I in that headspace? And a lot of the times, and this week especially, it was because I was feeling unworthy, because I've applied for a job that I don't think I'm gonna get, and feelings of unworthiness started to kind of spring up again. Or when I'm tired, or when I'm upset, whenever things are just not going right, I generally, in the past, I've gone for food, and even now I still struggle with, I want to comfort eat to make myself feel better. So anyway, so just wanted to let somebody know that it's not because you're weak or whatever. It's actually, you are strong. You've survived what you've survived, and now you're at a point where you're like, okay, I need to find better ways to help myself lose weight, and to cope with the feelings that I'm feeling. So yeah, I hope that encourages someone. So yeah, so I've been losing weight since January. Probably I lost a bit of weight before that, after I had the baby in October. I can't remember quite how much, maybe about 20 pounds. Could be more than that. But in January I was like, okay, this is it. I'm getting into the mental space of losing weight, and I'm gonna do it if it kills me. And since then I've lost 2 stones and 6 pounds. Today I lost 2.5 pounds again. Yeah. So there are 14 pounds in a stone. So 2 stones, that's 28 plus 6. I turned really bad in maths. So you do the math, so that's about 34 pounds. Yeah, so that's how much I've lost. And in that time I've done several things. In January, I joined Slimming World. If you don't know what Slimming World is, look it up online. It's kind of like a support group, and you get to eat almost anything, but it's how you cook it that matters. So you're not eating deep fried food or whatever, but you're eating everything kind of in its yeah, just boiled or whatever. Just try not to add like extra oil or extra dressings or, you know, stuff like that. So it's great. I recommend it. And it's like a support group because you go every week, you get paid. You get weighed, you pay them, you don't get paid. Um, you get weighed, and you pay, and you sit around, and if you're struggling with your weight loss, people give you tips, and the consultant gives you tips as well, and you can keep a diary if you want, and things like that. So very, very helpful. And about a week after that, I started doing the Arbonne challenge, and I did that for about a month. So Arbonne is like a vegan company, and they do like shakes and teas and whatever. So I was taking their shakes for breakfast and lunch, but at lunch I would also have another small meal, because I'm breastfeeding, and my baby was about 4 months when I started. So I decided that I didn't want my milk supply to decrease. So I would have that, and then for dinner I would have like boiled vegetables, and if I'm having potatoes, boiled potatoes, and a piece of meat, whatever. But what I've kind of been focusing on is like increasing my vegetable intake, and most of my vegetables I just boiled. So the vegetables will be half of my plate, and then protein is like a quarter of my plate, and then the carbs. And in January actually I got rid of like bread, and yeah, got rid of bread, and then like for snacks, I barely snacked in between. It was really hard because I was so hungry, but if I did, I would snack on like strawberries, like berries, because they're very low in sugar and stuff. So I stopped, and or green apples. And I kind of cut out grapes and like the fruits that had a lot of sugar. I cut those out. Just for me, I needed to kind of, I did, so I'm the kind of person that it's all or nothing. So I jumped in, and then now I'm starting to add things into my routine. So I did that for about 30 days, and I was pretty flexible with it, because when you're breastfeeding and when you have two kids, it's so much harder to like be like, you know, I didn't want to feel hungry or starve myself and then end up eating too much, which would end up making me feel bad. And so yeah, I was pretty flexible with that. And then when my products, my Arbonne products were finished, I just kind of stuck to Slimming World. And in Slimming World, you're allowed to kind of eat almost anything as long as it's not deep fried. So you can have your rice, your potatoes, whatever, but obviously increase your vegetables and your protein. And then you're allowed 15 sins a day, depending on how much you weigh, but generally it's between 10 and 15 sins. So a sin is equals to about 20 calories. So if you're having a bar of chocolate, divide the calories by 20, and then you'll be able to see how many sins you're having. So I've kind of just stuck with Slimming World, but I had joined the gym in December, and I love to work out. I love a good sweat. So I try and go to the gym about, sometimes it could be 6 days, but most days I want to say about 4 or 5 times. And then I don't just do an hour, I would do like 2 classes each day. And I know that's intense, but that's my time off. So my husband gives me that time off. And I'm able to like do 2-3 hours sometimes, but mostly just 2 hours, and I would do 2 classes. My favorites are, I do body step on Monday and Thursday, amazing. And then I also do body pump after body step. So body pump is like about lifting and stuff. It's incredible. I also do circuits Sunday and Tuesday, and then I do body balance, which is like a mix of like yoga, tai chi, Pilates type of thing. Yeah, and it just all varies on the week and whatever. And then a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I started doing body combat. It's so much fun. It's like boxing, but like moving. So it's like a dance boxing class. It's so much fun. And then like the crowd in the room, like the people in the room are just full of energy, and they just go nuts. So if you have a body combat class near your house, do it. I recommend it. and just so much fun. The energy is unreal. So I'm going to that later, actually, today at 5:30, half five. So basically that's what I've been doing. And then I try not, so whenever, and I mentioned earlier at the start of the video about kind of just eating in between and just these cravings. A lot of the time the cravings are not even physical for me. They're just more about how I'm feeling. And if I'm feeling crappy, forgive me, if I'm feeling awful, feeling just then I start to evaluate. I'm like, okay, why are you feeling this way? And almost always it's either something that somebody said, or something I remembered, something that somebody said from ages ago. Like yesterday I remembered something that a friend had said to me. Well, she's not a friend anymore, but had said to me at the time when we were friends, and I was like, that was really mean. And I was just like, ugh. I know I'm a super emotional person. I think a lot of people are, but they just hide. But I like to just talk about stuff. So I talked about it with my husband, and then I was like, okay. And then I grabbed glasses of water, and I was just like, drink, drink, drink. Water is your best friend, so increase your water intake. I take about 64 ounces every day, at least. So if it's a really hot day, if I've done crazy workouts, I'm drinking more. And then fruit is your best friend. But like I said, you know, your strawberries, your blueberries, your raspberries, like those are just so great. There was a time when I had cut out bread. At the moment, I'm still eating bread, and I've lost, the last 2 weeks, I've lost 2.5 pounds each week, even with eating bread. So it is possible, but I find that my stomach is happier when I'm not having dairy and wheat. So dairy is a big no-no for me, but I love yogurts, especially like low fat, no added sugar yogurts. So sometimes I do end up having yogurts. So it just figure out, I don't think there is just one way of losing weight. And then another thing that my husband and I started doing was not to eat too late. So we would have our dinner around 5:30, maybe earlier. If I have the gym, then yeah, so I'd either have my dinner before or after, but never, because there were times when we wouldn't eat dinner till about 7, well, 7 is not too late, but sometimes I think 9 p.m. and one time I remember having dinner at like 10. So we try not to do that anymore. The latest I would eat would be about 8:30, and that's like a light snack after the gym. So I hope that helps. There isn't just one way of losing weight, I don't believe, but the bottom line is you want to be eating less calories than you're taking in. So you want to be losing more calories than you're eating. So if that means working out more so that you can do that, go for it. If that means eating less for you and you're able to, and it doesn't affect your health or your baby, if you're breastfeeding, then go for it. But the bottom line is I realized that weight struggles are mental, and they're deeper than just eating the food. It's why you're eating that food. There's always a reason. Even if it's a happy one, there's always a reason. So I'm learning to evaluate. And then, oh, another thing. So if you go somewhere and yeah, this is Mommy's doing a video. If you go somewhere and they have lots and lots of like treats, I've learned to so sometimes I will have the treat that they have and try and eat not too many of them. This is my son. This is my big boy Elijah. But I've also started eating, making sure that I'm full. I can't fall down. Yeah, don't fall down. Elijah's having a yogurt. So I try and eat a lot before, hello, say hello people. I try and eat a lot before I go, and by a lot, I just mean make sure that I'm not hungry, because if I go there and I'm hungry and the food is there, I get tempted and I get super hungry. So that's what I've been doing. Like Elijah right now, he wants toast. Okay, give me 1 minute. So bottom line is increase your water intake, increase your exercise. Try not to snack in between. If you do, snack on like berries and things like that. and then evaluate your emotions, see what's happening. But you can do it. I believe if I can do it, anybody can do it. And for those who know me, I'm super emotional. I have so much baggage. Yes, yes, yes. So much baggage from my past, but I'm working through it. And then also pray. Prayer changes everything, and it changes you as a person. So I pray that you have a great time, and I hope this was helpful. Bye bye.